then we'll see if anybody else comes up with it.
And over the other side of the room, this question soon gets a response.
I've just opened up another argument, so we're doing 3 at the moment, and I've opened up the argument against those doing difficult births. There's one of a religious interpretation of the resurrection of Jesus, a political interpretation of the Northern Ireland peace process, and one simply just of a nature interpretation of how a sheep is giving birth to a lamb.
3 replies, easily. I'm not worried about spelling, punctuation, this sort of thing.
I believe that this poem has 3 layers about the Easter and the rebirth of Christ, the peace treaty being signed at Belfast, and the birthing of the Lamb.
But why not just talk together as a class?
I think if you actually discuss it on the wiki page, it helps to everyone later, after the wiki war is finished, can read through the notes, pick up different people's opinions, and this helps them revise for exams.
When we did Katrine, me and Aston before, we got set the actual poem of Katrine, and then we did a wiki war on it, but I didn't understand it until after we had a wiki war on it, so it's quite useful because I didn't understand it at all.
You get to weigh up other people's opinions, and you kind of go into the poem into more depth if there's more of you.
At the end of the day, Carol looks through one of the wiki threads.
This one's got comments made the other day. 211, 212, 213, 213. Several people around the room are all discussing this one issue simultaneously. You couldn't get that in a class because in a classroom only one person can put their hand up at a time, and you can only just do speaking and listening that way. This way, everyone's got a voice, and you can see there's 90 responses on this one thing alone. And it's you can see a lot of flow of activity at 234, 246, etc. And then you find that they've gone out of my lesson because that ends at 2:35, and they're still at it somewhere else, and they're carrying on. And they've got loads of quotations in here. He says, "Right, Lydia, let's settle this," and he goes on, quotation, 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 all the way through. And he says at the end, "Yeah, just a few. Yeah, you got owned," and that is going on at 5:41 the same day. So obviously it's carrying on way beyond the classroom, and that wasn't set homework. That was simply because they had unfinished business.
So what are the benefits of using this technology?
The benefit is that afterwards they can go home, and in a few weeks' time when they've got their mock, they can then revise it at leisure, and they can see how the thought processes actually worked. They can then see the connections between other poems, connections they wouldn't have made. And they like listening in to visual conversations. It was visual because they remember seeing it on the screen, and that had massive benefits because on average the boys went from a C to a grade A. 2 whole grades. They're managing to create something, and it's that creative process that's the difference. It's not simply evaluating or regurgitating knowledge, it's that you're creating, and that's the difference between teaching of yesteryear and teaching of the new millennium, because it's now making connections. Web 2 enables that. You couldn't do it any other way.
Year 9 pupils at 9 Style School in Birmingham are making video trailers based on a scene from their set book, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
It was thinking around how to use ICT and digital media to make a subject which has been traditionally quite hard to teach easier to access. And I think by taking the form of trailers for a computer game, which is a form that students are obviously very familiar with and have a good understanding of the conventions of, and then extrapolating a text which they maybe find quite challenging and making one into the other, I think that process that they go through, I think the IT encourages them because it helps them think a little bit more creatively. It also builds on skills that students have got.
Each group will have 30 minutes to shoot a trailer for a Gothic video game based on the murder of Sir Danvers Carew. But whatever they shoot must be based on a solid understanding of the text.
What you need to do now is in your groups you're going to
So English teacher Lisa Lockley checks out their grasp of setting, character and plot.
Plot is just a posh posh word for what? What do we mean by plot? The plot of this chapter. Xavier?
What's happening in the story.
Fantastic. The story, really, the narrative, what's going on. And how can I tell that you've read and understood Jekyll and Hyde really well? What could you use?
You can include quotes into your game trailer.
Fantastic. Not just include quotes, but what's... Okay, so plot. We're focusing them on Jekyll and Hyde, isolating quotes, in order for them to be able to explain and reflect upon what they made, how they made it, and why they made it the way they did.
Oh, this bit?
Yeah.
It's not the same bit you're looking for,
never
but...
a word and seemed to listen.
So we need some more describing on the characters. This is the plot, and this is where Hyde kills Carew. The moon shone on his face.
And why have you selected that one? Why is that one important?
Because it's like shows that the street's got like it's moonlit.
And what atmosphere does that create?
Like mysterious.
Fantastic, brilliant, well done.
Although the fog rode over the city in the small hours, the early part of the night was cloudless, and the lane which the maid's window overlooked was brilliantly lit by the full moon.
Good. And why is that a good one, Amy, do you think?
Because of the fog sets like a gothic atmosphere.
A gothic atmosphere, brilliant, well done. 4 minutes, they need to be stuck on the board. 4 minutes.
Take that one back for me.
Next, they prepare storyboards to show exactly what shots they want to take and what action each shot will contain.
But he said you can't have a bird's eye view either. You can't have the top of your head because they said I haven't got the right camera angle.
What does that?
But yeah, but this is what she sent me an email. We should be able to get an angle of you fainting, but like not from the top, so it'd be like from the side.
We need to delete some scenes and like remake some scenes like that one and that one. Like that one we need to take out because we've got the police cars and police cars didn't exist. And that one we just need to take the police cars out and put like the inspector standing over the body looking at the body.
Then some rehearsal to refine the action they're going to shoot and to update their storyboards.
And then I don't hear you. Yeah. I carry on looking for him, but he's already left. Yeah. And then that should be the end, and then we go back out of the game.
And then I say, wow.
I go inspector, I know where the body went. Yeah. Hello.
And that's what.
And then we'll have text, we'll do that in editing, and then somewhere between there we'll have the beat scene, and then we'll have that part, and then you'll be walking away with blood coming out my head, some more blood, and I'll have Jekyll and Hyde, and then you walk over. Okay, you can get that right? Yeah. Oh, sorry, sir.
Here we are in the drama studio. What we've done, we've set up a green screen so the students can film against it. The idea is that when students film their piece of drama, we can replace the background with images they need for that scene. In this case, it's going to be street scenes of London, they're going to be inside houses, but it could be absolutely anything. OK, that's what you see, that's what the lens will see.
Yep.
You need to make sure all the action takes place within the boundaries of the green.
Within the green.
OK, so what's the first shot?
In their allotted time slot, the pupils explain to the IT staff what they want to shoot.
Okay. No, this one here, that's meant to be blood.
So where's this camera in? Do we need to be closer or above? From the side?
Closer, no. Far closer, and then the other one's closer.
The background scenery will be added later in the editing to replace the area of green.
Action. We could have him just go like that, then that would be it.
OK.
There's a wall, and we're off screen, and there's our shadows. I'm lying on the floor, and he's just gone like that to finish me off.
Oh, yeah. We're doing that bit now.
You zoom into your eyes, that's when you're like at your most deadliest form. Do you get what I mean?
Should I keep the mask on?
Yeah, but make sure your eyes are showing.
The IT staff then help the pupils edit what they've shot.
OK, what we're doing is we're capturing the footage we've just recorded. You click Start Import and it does it for you. But it captures at real time, so the time it took to record will be the same time it takes to capture to the computer.
Do you want this part where he's walking?
Yeah, I get the end part. I think.
I'll get rid of all this part here.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. And then, so there, yeah?
Yep.
Okay. So we'll get rid of this part here. Up to...
No, I think we did 2 of them. That was the one. That was
This is the one you like. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to stick all of this in a timeline now. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 clips. Here are the pictures we currently have. Is that one okay?
Show the ones first.
This is where the green backcloth is replaced by the background of their choice, such as the Victorian street where the attack took place,
That's cool. That was his language.
or the window from which the maid saw the whole thing.
Oh yeah. A murderer is among us. A bad deed has been done. Jekyll and Hyde, the video game, coming soon. A murderer is among us. A murderer is among us. A bad deed has been done. That's cool. Jekyll and Hyde, the video game, coming soon. Coming soon.
That's good.
Sound like like a snake. Coming towards you like a snake.
Yeah, that sounds like it would be in the jungle, doesn't it?
The pupils then choose some horror music from an online library where, for a few pence, you can download tracks that are cleared for copyright.
Sound like you're in like a dark place.
A few final bloody touches,
No violence.
and some suitably horrific lettering.
The process looks very time-consuming, but I think the method by which we get to the final product is very, very effective. And by asking students to think about what they already know when we start out with a project and working around a driving question and having an artefact that they create, I think it keeps the students very focused. And I also think that it makes them responsible for their own learning and empowers them.
And here's a selection from the students' finished Jekyll and Hyde video game trailers.
They can't do it without making judgments about the language in the text, about the narrative in the text, and without deciding what's important and what the audience really need to see in order to create meaning.
I was a bit nervous, perhaps, about doing it, but once you saw the enthusiasm of the students and they were able to say, Stevenson has done this because it makes me feel, and they knew that by understanding the language they'd be able to make something actually really meaningful for them, transforming it eased my fears a little bit and eased my nerves, because actually it was really worthwhile doing.
Hello? Hello?